Okay, so in this session we'll discuss about two things. One is descriptive flexi field and key flexi field. Okay, so the major difference in the database table level, if you observe, we have for the DFF you'll have attribute columns, and for KFF you'll have a segment columns. Okay, and from the OAF perspective, let us say if you want to use a DFF in any of your table, so the first thing what we require is the underlying table should have the appropriate attribute columns. If at all, let us say in the OAF custom page, you want to show, like you want to design your own custom DFF structure and everything, and you want to use the DFF, then what you require is the underlying table in the OAF. You require a table with appropriate attribute columns, and the component, the UI component which satisfied that functionality is flex. So this is for the purpose of DFF as well as KFF. Okay, so first what we do is let us understand any of the existing standard flexi field, and we'll try to show those attribute columns in our OAF page. So I'll just open any of the existing one. Maybe I'll choose the purchasing one. Okay, purchasing. Okay, so now this is the one, and these are the attributes. Okay, and now what we do is where is the definition, like where is that? How do we configure the DFF? Where is it? Is the page missing here?
Descriptive flexibility. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe system administrator here on application developer.
So validation sets and values, security. Something changed here, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think. No. Okay, let
The
me
context system sometimes. Under security segment. No.
segments, right? Yeah, sorry. Very strange. This is the one. Okay. So you can just check the title from there. Actually, we should have, yeah, PO headers, right? PO headers is the one, and there is no custom context for this one, right? So let's say I'll just enable this one, and like we can just, let us, if at all, if you want to create any of these things or global data elements, we can create that. So it seems as of now there is no configuration done on this one. Let us say context. I'll say custom like this, and some legacy PO number column attribute 1 varchar 2 something varchar 2.
Value set is values. That is value set.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Value set we don't need, right? We don't require any values.
Without value set, how can you assign data type? Without that, we can't do it. You have a segment. See here.
Okay.
Legacy.
But value set is like the data we are getting from some like table value set, right? We need to give the real.
Okay. Got it. I'm thinking about other thing. Yeah, fine. Legacy P1 number. Let's say legacy supplier name. Okay. So I just define two segments here. Now reuse it. Okay. Yeah. So this is almost defined. Now the next thing is, so what we do is, so now let me show you the table. Maybe if you observe the PO headers all table, so you'll have attribute 1 to how many attributes we'll have? 15 attributes, I think, right? And the attribute category. So now the thing is, we can't perform DML operations, or we should not perform DML operations on this table. But let us say you want to design a custom page where the DFF attributes are similar to a particular existing standard one. So we have 15 DFF attributes, right? 15 DFF attributes and one attribute category. So the underlying table, the concept is the underlying table, whichever table you use it, that table should have these attributes. That table should have these attributes. Okay. Now what we do is, so maybe the table, right? Select star from XXPO header, we have
PO header, PO.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a table, right? So now what we can do is we just need to add up all these columns. So okay, so I'll just add up that. Okay, so it got altered. Now here, if you observe, we should be having all the attribute columns. Okay. Now the next thing is, so we can either do the remaining. I mean, we can try to create a new page and do those things, or what we can do is we already have everything in our mini page, right? In the PO details page. So what I'll do is, in the PO details page, maybe let us say we'll concentrate only on the update part first. So in the PO details page, so this one, in the PO details page, in the header data update region, okay, in the header data update region, you can also create an independent page. There is no harm in that. Okay, we just need to understand the concept. So in this existing one, I'll just create a new. Okay, so it's a message component layout, so it is not allowing. So what we can do is, you should have one more message layout. Yeah, so under the message layout component, you just create a new item. Okay, and change the item style to flex. This is the first thing. Okay, I'll just say DFF EVO flex ID. This is my ID. Attach the instance. Okay, XXPO header EVO1, and I'll say EVO
We
flex.
need to refresh, right? That EVO Vivo to get all the columns. That EVO Vivo one. The new columns added.
Okay. Yeah. We have to do that also. Yes. And next thing is, here if you observe, the major important properties for this particular components are the application short name. So the application short name for this one is PO, right? SQL PO or PO, that we have to validate.
P1.
Maybe we can. Application short name. I think we don't get it right. We don't get it.
P1. Yes, it
Pivo
is.
only. Yeah, if it is Pivo, then fine. Next one is and the name. So the name of the flexi field. So the name of the flexi field. So what is the name? Okay, Pivo headers. And the type is descriptive or key. You can select either one. So now next one is segment list. So as of now, we'll leave this one. Once we run the page and we can think of what to change. And display context field. So whether you want to display context field or not, you can mention true or false. And this segment list we can mention. Okay. So this is the only configuration for the flex component. And next thing is, as we are using this existing Evo Vivo, first thing we have to do is like now the table is changed and the query also should change, right? So first of all, go to the data, this particular Evo. Okay, this XXPIVO header is based on our XXPIVO header table in which we have altered the columns. What you have to do is right click on this one and you have an option called synchronize with database. So what will this will do is it will just try to validate the set of columns and it will try to understand what are the things which are get changed. Can you see? Create attribute and all these things. It will just synchronize everything. Synchronize all. Just yes. Okay, that's it. It got synchronized. And maybe you can check again. And also for the attribute Pivo header ID, just again reset it to primary key. Yeah, it is already set it, no problem. And we could see the attribute category as well as attribute columns. Okay.
Do we need
Now
to put always, and anything?
it is Evo, right? It is Evo and it is from the columns. It is not, see, by default, it will observe, it will be always updatable only. It's Evo. But check the Vivo, that is important. And check the Vivo. Now here we may not have all those columns, right? We have not mentioned that because we would have mentioned select a particular columns like this, right? So we don't have those set of columns here, isn't it? We don't have those attribute columns here. So what we can do is just copy this one, and just change this one. Okay, so I'll just prepare the query by using Notepad. Okay. I'll just change here. It's Vivo header, Evo Vivo, SQL statement, and here I'll just add up those things. Okay. Click on apply and check the attribute mappings if there any problem here. Here, this is a very easiest way to find out is there any disturbance to any of the columns. Okay. Now let's run the Pivo search page. Okay, so I'll just click on update. Okay, what it is telling, inform the support representative that descriptive flex Pivo headers in the application Pivo could not be found. Okay, it says that it could not find the Pivo. There could be multiple things. One is either the DFF name which we have mentioned is wrong or the application name. So let me check that again. Application. Okay, this is correct. So the next issue is like it could be probably it is because of the up this one. Like what I mean is like a DFF name. So just check this here. So we need to consider this one. So in the registration, right? So here, if you observe purchasing, right? So whatever the name which you have, so in the descriptive fields, whatever the name which is there, use that one, not the title. Okay,
Here it is. Go headers. Here is the disk. Oh,
this one, copy this one. The content which is there in the name field, you have to mention that. So PO details page, this one. Okay, that's a mistake, and this is correct, and this is correct. Segment list will take it later. Run the page. Okay. Do you see the legacy PO number, legacy supplier number?
yes. Headings.
Okay.
Yes.
So these were getting displayed by default. These are getting displayed by default. Okay. And maybe let us say, I think we enabled context, isn't it? We enabled context, but why it was not showing, I'm not sure. But and you know, one more issue is like, as these were part of message layout, right? So the look and feel is a little bit disturbed. So better, the best thing is maybe, so for the PO details page, we can just have one more, just have one separate header region or something. Yeah, you can just have like this as a child. Okay, so that it will have its own content. DFF flex header region. Okay, and the next thing is just observe why the context, we mentioned context should be displayed. Why it was not displaying? Let's see that. Items were getting displayed because we created in a custom context, isn't it? We created in the custom context.
Yeah.
Yeah, segment. Oh,
Global data.
no, I think, okay, that's a mistake. Fine. Let's see that again. Yeah, let's say custom context.
Oh, from there we send.
Yeah, I think I missed it. I'll just say 10, maybe 1 minute.
Like bracket thing, like standard one, like open box, close box. Right?
Means,
No, it's like DFS. It's supposed to show in that, like that open box and that closed box, right? Kind of thing.
yeah,
DFS.
let's see that. You'll understand once we show them, right? You'll easily understand how it looks like. So let's say location, I'll say customer location or supplier location. Mention it as attribute 3. Say supplier email attribute 4. So okay, I'll save it. Okay. Okay, compile. Now, so let's run the page. So here, if you observe, right, there is no relation between the DFF as well as the custom table which we created. It's just kind of simulating how exactly we can use a DFF in the page. Okay.
Yeah.
And to understand the DFF in standard pages. Now, okay. So this is showing legacy. This one only. Where is that context? I guess it is not refreshed yet, or Just check again.
Yeah.
It is showing, right?
We need to freeze and we did not still the concurrent program is. I think did we unfreeze and freeze it, right?
Yeah, I did it right.
There will be a
Okay,
pen
okay, it is generating, I guess.
generated text.
Yep. Okay, good. Now let's rerun. Okay. Still, I don't see that. Right. Anyway, so maybe let us say I'll enter as of now legacy PO 100 something legacy supplier name. Okay. And I'll try to save it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Save it. Now check in the database for the PO header ID 150. Let us see whether in the data is there or not. Okay. That is the only way we can understand whether this is correct or not. Okay. So for 150. Okay. It's not getting updated, isn't it?
Yeah, not updated.
So something wrong here. PO 150. It says database updated, but it's not saving it. Cancel, search. Okay, so definitely it is not working. Definitely it is not working. Yeah, it's reconnecting. I don't know. Suddenly sometimes it. So the issue could be like maybe. Okay, yeah, I understand. Now I understand. Fine. So the thing was, I just overruled this one issue. So here, if you observe, 1 minute, it's still connecting. In the Vivo IMPL, right? So in the Vivo attribute mappings, when we added the new attributes, it actually did not recognize. It did not recognize those as a database columns. So I'll show you the issue. It's a very difficult issue to debug. It's a common issue we face most of the times, but let me show you that. In the PO header Evo, right? This one. So do we have the attribute columns? Yes. We have the attribute columns. Just understand here. Can you see there is a tiny difference here, right? Why the columns are shown like this, the different icon?
It is like calculated items
Yes,
kind of thing.
yes. So that is why what it is doing is it is saying that okay, these are not part of entity object. Why will I update? So that's the issue. So check out again the database whether the columns are available in the entity object. Yes, in the entity object they are available. Correct. So maybe you can again do a synchronize, but you'll not have any change. Can you see? There is no changes. It means that entity is correct. Now check out this one, the XXPO header Evo Vivo, XXPO header Evo Vivo. Yeah, this is a culprit. This is one of the very dangerous issue. It happens most of the times. So yeah, just execute whether is there an issue here. Okay. It still says it could not identify. Okay, can you see now? See, this is attribute category. When I clicked on drop down, it seems, like there are some other columns with _1 or something got created. I'm not sure how it was created. Okay, so in these scenarios, what you have to do is click on this attributes. Let me repeat again. See, first thing is we have identified the issue that the data is not getting updated. The reason is you always need to check the attribute mappings. And for these attributes, it is telling that it is something to a calculated value, not the database actual column. But why it is mapped to unnecessary some other column? Because it happens. Here, if you observe, when I clicked on drop down, I could see some other columns with the name attribute 6_1, some other name like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what we have to do is click on attributes, select all these columns. Okay, but make sure that you should not miss any of your transient attributes. In this one, I don't see any transient attributes, so it is no issue for us. So I'll just select all the columns like this, and I'll just move to right. Okay, I'm just trying to remove everything, and I click on apply. Okay, so it says some issue now. That's fine. Now what you do is click on select statement. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, there are some other issues will come up, but that's fine. We can solve it one by one. Okay, I'll just select one column as of now to just satisfy this bug. Now what I'll do is I go to SQL statement. I'll remove this existing one. Okay, and just re-enter my query. I just removed my query and I re-entered the same query. Click on apply now and just check the attributes now again. Click on the attribute mappings. Just see, as of now, nothing is generated again. This is another drawback. Okay, it is not generating now. Again, go to SQL statement. Okay, again go to SQL statement. Now what I'll do is maybe I'll just say select star from XXPIVO header. Is this correct? Is the table name correct? Yeah, it's correct only. 1 minute. 1 minute. I could see a different view now. 1 minute. See, I'll just say XXPIVO header. Okay, now check the attributes. Can you see? Now it generated. So there is no actual reason of the bug, but this is a common issue we face it. So now I'll just remove this select star from query. I will apply my main query which we are using, and now click on apply. Click on apply again, and click on attribute mappings now. Now check out again some new issue now. Can you see? Again some new issue.
Everything is there.
Yeah, everything is gone now. Okay, so maybe why it is calculating, I don't understand. This happens. This is a common issue I face most of the times.
Normally, in Oracle forms, right, in the database item, we need to use the SR like that is the properties. There is no such properties right here. The each attributes.
It works. Can you see? Can you see now it work?
Yeah.
But still it is mapping to SQL columns only. So what I can do is I don't find in. I really don't understand from where it is 1_1 is coming for this one. Why the _1s are coming? Okay. Because okay, fine. Because it is yeah.
No, segment one also it is coming 1_1, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, just apply. Okay, now I'll just say like this.
1 by 1.
Just see now what happens in the attribute mappings.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see now?
It is giving 1 by
Just
1.
move all of them. Move all of them. And now click on attribute mappings.
Looks good
No
now.
issue. Looks good, but the now issue. Yes. Okay. This is okay. But what happened to the other columns? Do we have all? I mean, the status code. We have some other extra columns, right? Which were coming up based on our SQL query. Where are
Yes.
those? Yes, status code.
Is there something in the SQL?
Okay, they were in the search one, right? Okay, here there is no decode. We don't have any decode here. We just have only status columns here, isn't it? Okay, I'll just remove this query again. I'll paste it. Just give a spacing like this. Okay, click on apply. It will regenerate. So the thing is, whenever you have any changes in the query, it will try to regenerate the attribute mappings. Okay, now check again. This time I am feeling comfortable. Now the status, vendor name, vendor site ID, vendor site ID code, vendor name, status lookup, meaning yes, they are as calculated value, remaining are database columns. Okay, this is one of the major issue which you face it. One of the major issue you face it for the purpose of not updating data in the database. This is the way we have to resolve. Okay, now run the page. And that is why we never perform star. Select star from is never recommended. Search it, update. Okay, I still could not see the context, but that should be some other issue. That's fine. Even number 1000 or 2000. Legacy supplier name 2000 something. I'll click on save. Now let's go back. Can you see now?
Yeah, now it's saved. Yes.
Okay, so this is a functionality, and actually, this attribute category should be having the context. But as it is not displaying the context, we could not do much here. It should have
But
been displaying the
attribute
context.
category is now, why is it? We did not mention anywhere. Attribute category is the context name.
Yes, attribute category is nothing but context.
What
Attribute
is that?
category is nothing but a context.
Okay.
Okay, it should have been displayed, but I
Maybe
am not sure why.
right here description witnesses.
PO details page and the flexi field. Segment list display context. I clearly mentioned true, right? I mentioned that. And now let us say we have one more option. I'll show you. Now, if at all, let us say maybe now in the DFF we have two things, right? Two columns we have in the DFF. So in the DFF which we're using, we have two columns. Assume that you want to show only one column. You don't want to show all the other columns. So what we can do is, I'll click on segments. Now copy this one. Let us say I want to show only P1 number in the UI. We just mention global data elements and mention the column name separated by piping symbol. Okay. Now in the pivot details page. So here in the pivot details one, in the segment list, just mention this one. Yeah, maybe the clear cache maybe the clear cache is generally for the OAF pages. I mean, fine. Segment, yeah, I don't know, but let's try now. So it has to display only one single field now. So this way you can control how many elements you want to show. Can you see? It shows only one now.
But enabled we cannot do. Enabled, I think we cannot do the enabled, disabled.
I'll tell you. See, now so far we are we understood how do we display it and how do we control the segment. But now we'll try to understand how do we control it. Okay, let us see that. So now pivot details page. So first thing is what we have done to control the elements. We have used this particular concept, the piping symbol concept of separation of each element. Okay. Now let us say, let me show you all these elements first of all. I don't want to filter anything. I'll just remove this one. Let me run the page again. It is very important one because in most of the standard pages, Like in the OAF, they want to control some behavior. In the standard behavior, they want to control some other behavior. Okay, let us understand that thing. Nothing but let us say they don't want to change the flexifield structure, but they in the OAF they want to control the validation. Like maybe the string should not be this much, or it should have been disabled, or it should have been enabled, or it should have been mandatory, something like that. So now it is showing two fields, right? Let us say I don't want to make I mean to say like I just want to like disable this one. I just want to disable this one. Or let us say I want to by default I want to mention the legacy P1 number as some number. The first thing is we'll try to understand how do we default a value, and then we can discuss some other things. The first thing is how do we default a DFF value? How do we default a DFF value? One more important thing is now by just seeing this page, you can never know it is a DFF. By just observing this page from the UI, as a we cannot understand this is a DFF. But how do we know that this is a DFF? Yes, that's a major thing. What you have to do is just click on about this page. And here, observe carefully the components. Observe the components very carefully. So you have something called context, attribute category, flexifield. And not only that, somewhere it will show the flexifield item. Yeah, this is the one, right? Can you see it is clearly telling what is a flexifield? Pure flex, isn't it? Okay, and it is telling what is the sequence also, legacy P1 number, legacy supplier name, and context it is still not identifying. There should be some issue, but yeah. And these are the elements name, right? One is legacy P1 number, another is a legacy supplier name. Okay, and it is telling to which item it is linked to. It is linked to attribute 1, it is linked to attribute 2. This is how we can try to correlate. Okay, this page is having DFF. Okay.
If context is there, it is going to display a box, right? That open box, close box, right? If context is.
If a context is there, it will display a drop down. Based on the drop down hitting, it will automatically render these elements in a different fashion.
Okay. Based on that one, we can find out whether it is DFF or not.
Yes. I think I missed something here. Let me check. Is it because of displayed property like this? Displayed? No, right?
No.
This is nowhere related, isn't it?
Displayed is when it is displaying, right?
Yeah. See, context is not getting displayed, isn't it? Context itself was, like it is. Okay, that's the issue. That's the issue. Context element was not enabled. This prompt was not enabled, displayed. Okay, let us, yeah. Now, let's see whether it displays or not, doesn't matter. Now I'll just run the page. Now we'll try to understand how do we
control the title.
Control the elements, okay. Search it. Update. Yep, that's the issue. Now we can see context also, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, when you enable custom context, what is happening? The supplier location and email also was getting displayed, isn't it?
Yes.
Supplier location, supplier email. We can also observe whether this gets updated in the database or not. Check out.
Supplier, that is the standard one. That is the existing one, right? That supplier one.
Now we can see custom context here in the attribute category, and we can see the 4 attributes which got updated. Okay, these 4 elements are the customized elements, right? Custom DFF which we created. I mean, the what do you call the segments which we created.
Yeah.
2 are from the custom context, 2 are from the global context.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so now first basic thing is to control these elements. We don't have the web bean ID of it. To control this set of items from the UI, we don't have the bean ID. First thing. Then how do we control, right? So what you do is, first of all, whatever the page is getting displayed, right? Just see the control U, click on control U. Okay. Now it shows the source, isn't it? It shows the source. I'll control A, and yeah, I'll just paste here. Maybe do a word wrap. Okay. Now next thing is What is the element name? Legacy. Let us say I want to control this particular property. Legacy supplier name I want to control. Search that. Search that. Language. HTML. Okay. This seems a little bit tricky or complicated, but yeah, this is how we have to work on. Now here, if you observe the legacy supplier name, yeah, can you see here? 1 minute, I'll show it clearly.
Like HTML page for that code, right?
Yeah,
That.
this is nothing but an HTML page. This is, yeah, that is correct. This is custom context, and after that you have image and a table row. It is ending here. Table data and legacy. Legacy P1 number here, if you observe, legacy P1 number. Okay, yeah, this is the one. Try to observe this one. So for the legacy P1 number, what is the input ID? It is DFF PO flex ID 0, isn't it?
Yeah.
The value P1 number, whatever the number, 2 lakhs or 20,000, it is in the ID DFF PO flex ID 0. And now if you observe the other one, DFF here, right? This one, DFF PO flex ID 1. This is for the purpose of supplier. This is for the purpose of supplier. The next one. So the basic easiest thing to understand is whatever the elements which are displayed in this one, it will start with DFF ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Nothing but our flex ID. What is our flex ID? In the PO details page, this was our flex ID, DFF PO flex ID. Okay. And if you observe this one, DFF PO flex ID, DFF PO flex ID. Okay. So you'll observe 3 and 4 also similarly. Can you see fourth one also?
Oh, total 4.
For the supplier. So that's how it is. So for the first one, it starts with the index 0. It starts with index 0 and the remaining it goes on. So now this is our index. This is for the purpose of legacy supplier. Okay. Now we just want to disable it. Let us say, or maybe let us say we want to supply some default value. We want to just set a default value to that. We just want to set a default value. Okay. So now what we do is, yeah. PO, details CO. After initialization method, OA flex bin, OA flex, oh sorry, OA descriptive flex bin. Okay. Web bean dot find index tail recursive. Just use this one. Okay. And next, you need to call a method called process flex. And after this, what we do is, now what are the elements which we have? What are the types of them? They are simple text boxes. Let us say if they are drop downs, if they are check boxes, if they are maybe some other component, you need to use the appropriate component behavior of that. In our case, it is a OA message text input. What I'll do is I'll just say OA message text input bin, and I'll just make use of maybe what is the name? Supplier name. Supplier name text input text bin. And now what I'll do is I'll use DFF PO flex bin dot find index tail recursive. Okay. And what is the bin ID? The bin ID is this one. The bin ID is this one. And one more important thing is when you're trying to do these kind of logics, always use a null pointer exceptions, because we are not sure whether it returns a value. Sometimes we may mistakenly mention some other value. So better always mention the not equal to null conditions. Now cast to. Now let us say initially I'll try to get the value. Value is equal to supplier name str is equal to bean dot get text page context. Now say supplier name str. Now next thing is, now we got the bean instance. Once we got the bean instance, we can control everything. Let us say set value page context comma setting the value. I'll just say computers legacy supplier, something like that. I'm trying to just default a value now. Okay, now let's run the page. Click on search, click on update. Okay, so still it is telling the legacy PO supply name only, right? So can you see it is displaying legacy supplier name? That is fine.
It is displaying.
It is displaying legacy supplier name. Nothing but it is entering here, right? Nothing but it is entering here. So this value is also correct only, right? Else it will not even this value. Okay.
DFF
What we can do is, right, so I'll say flex ID, always print these IDs to understand whether is there any null pointer exceptions here. There's no null pointer. I mean, there is no exception actually, else it will not even work. Okay. Supplier name DFF bean. Supplier name text bean. Supplier name text bean dot set value. Yeah, this is the only one we have. Page context dot. Yeah, let's run in the debug mode. Click on search, update. Now let's see what is the issue here. See, we got the flex one. So flex is not null. Supplier name also it is printing. So there is no issue here.
Yeah.
The only issue which I could observe is there is like when we get a flex, right? So we need to set some property. We need to set some property. That is what I feel I'm missing. Let me check if it is there in any of my existing code. No, this is not there here. But there should be one more property, I guess. Maybe I'm missing something, but this is how we can control, like we just need to get the bean, and that's, we can try to control the behavior.
The diff PO flux ID, to get that one, do we need to go to that source code of the HTML? That one?
I mean, yeah, that is the best way. That's the best way, like to get it. Sometimes now let us say, assume that like here, assume that like you have 10 elements, but someone would have like enabled a displayed false for them. What happens is it may display in a sequence manner, but the sequence of them could be different. So
one is PO number, two is supplier name, like that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the sequence
it
0,
starts with
1,
0, 0, 1, 2. It starts with 0.
0, right? Now
Yes.
you give the like legacy
1.
supplier name. You have
Supplier, I use 1.
1, 1.
Okay.
Internally, that double quote that considered as that one. Internally, that will take care, right? That exact name. Even though if you give the double quotes, it understands, right? The correct
It
name.
is string. It is a string, right? We have to mention double quotes only.
Okay, it's string. Okay, it
Yes.
exact name.
Yes. Yes. See, if the name is wrong, we should not have even got the value right. If the
Yeah,
name is wrong, it will not even, we will not even get the value. There is only one mistake I could have think of as like in the descriptive flexi field, right? There is one more property I think we have to call it. I could not get that, or maybe generally process flex is a thing,
okay.
and yeah, process flex is a thing. Okay, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
fine. I'll try to resolve that anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Next one is I want to discuss about the KFF. Okay, so in the KFF, right? So what we think of in the KFF, generally you'll have a segments, isn't it? Let me show you one table structure sample. So in the KFF, like we just need to have these things like a code combination ID.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a major important thing we require in the KFF. One minute. Yeah, I think this table is not there here. Yeah. So when we use a KFF, right? So here, if you observe, we generally need to know what is the structure, which structure we have to use it, and what is a code like when we select any of the code, right? We need to mention to which column you want to save it. Okay, let me show you one example, then we can easily understand. So here, let us say GL code combinations, code combination. Okay. Now here, if you observe, right, this is a code combination ID. Okay, and now you'll have a segments, isn't it?
Yes.
For a given code combination, you'll have a segments. Now, what we need to do is we don't need to store any segments in our table. We does not need to store any segments in our table. Okay, but what we require is we just require one extra column to hold the segments. We require one extra column to hold the segments. That we set it as code combination ID. Okay. Now again, I can make use of the table altered table xxpo header or code combination underscore ID number. Okay.
Yeah, add column. Yeah, add column.
Yeah. Now, next thing is get any of the existing structure code. We don't want to define any new structure. So I'll just go to register.
Accounting flux.
Yeah, GL hash, right? Accounting flex. So the application, I mean, this we require some set of extra information. Okay. This is SQL right?
Yeah.
SQL GL hash accounting flex. Okay. Now we'll go to segments, general ledger, accounting. Okay. We can just use any of them. I'll try to use Vision, any of them. Okay, I'll use this one, Vision Health Accounting Services. Okay, Vision Health Accounting Services. Okay, now what we do is, and we require a similar code, similar logic. So I'll just copy here. So in the first thing is like we have added the column. So we'll get the same issue, I hope. Let's try. XXPU header. First of all, synchronize the EVO. Synchronize EVO. Okay. You don't need to disturb the primary key, so I have not disturbed that. Now, in this one, SQL statement. The SQL statement. Let's try. I'll mention this code combination ID. Observe here. So from the attribute mappings only we'll understand what is happening to that. So the same issue again.
Again, same issue.
Okay. So I'll just check this one. Can you see?
Yes, yes.
This is solved. Sometimes it is easy to solve, but yeah. Now, in the pivot details page, so we already have header region, right? So maybe I'll create one more header region for the KFF. In this one, new region, KFF header region. So KFF region. In this, I'll create a new item. Flex, KFF flex ID. And mention the view instance. View header EVO Vivo1. And make a mention select chart of account. And yeah, application short name is GL hash. Key flexifill. Application short name is GL hash. And what is the name?
Application account application.
Sorry, no, SQL right? SQL is application short name.
Yes,
And name we have to mention as GL hash. Okay. And segment list will ignore. And the remaining properties, we have to set it manually using the Java code. We can't set here. Okay, so what we want to set it? So we want to set accounting flexi field. So we'll just set this like this. Set structure code like this. And set the CCID attribute name. So what is a database column name which we have considered? We have considered the same thing like a code combination ID. So we'll not have any issue.
Yeah.
So we just need to use this one. The pivot details page. Okay. This is our bean ID, and we need to use code combination LOB true. We are setting the structured code, and we are mentioning that like this will display a set of like a couple of LOBs, right? And we are telling to which attribute you want to save it. We want to save to a column called code combination ID. This is nothing but the code combination ID column which is available in the Vivo instance which we have attached to that particular flex component. Okay, that's how it will identify. Now let's run the page. Search it, update. Okay, where is the KFF? Yeah. So first thing is we could see the icon, but still we can't guarantee it is correct. but I can say, it is displaying these set of things. It means that it identified the KFF correctly.
Okay.
Click on this LOV, but let's say until unless we save the value, we can't guarantee. I'll select some value, select it, and I'll save it. Okay, we got some value, but check it from database. Anything always valid from database. There is no guarantee, because there is always a chance of some minor mistake which may hinder from saving it.
Yeah.
Can you see the code combination ID now?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Save.
it got saved, right? This got
Yeah.
saved, the code combination ID. So it will just simply say only code combination ID.
Yes.
Now I'll go back.
If you want to add that one, we need to join the GL code combinations to get the
Yeah, if at
values.
all, if you want to, no, by default it will display. There is no issue in that. To display, it simply displays that. You don't need to join anything.
In the table, in that, if you want to, then
Yeah, in the UI region, yeah, if at all, if you want to display in the details, I mean, the search page like that, yes, you have to do that. Okay. Yeah, so this is how this is what the DFF and KFF. So one more thing, again, check out. Let us say, how do you KFF? We can easily identify it because it shows an icon, isn't it? But if you want to know what is the segment behind it, what is the structure behind it, you click on about this page. You may get some information from this one, but yeah, can you see? Select COA. It clearly tells SQL GL hash, but it is not telling the structure code, isn't it? It is not telling which structure it is using. So some properties we may not get from here.
okay.
Right. So it is not telling which structure code I'm using it. It's simply getting all this information, but yeah. Because that we have set it in the Java. So maybe that could be the reason. And in the page structure, like we can't make it out whether whatever the components which it shows, right? We can't make it out what is the flex component there. Can you see?
Yeah.
Flex header region, it's pivot flex. It is displaying all the components, and KFF region, it is displaying the, can you see? It's quite different one. Message, text input, image, message. We can't even understand this all stuff. These set of things gets generated automatically at runtime. We don't have any control on that.
Okay.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay, so what we do is we'll wind up here, and then the next session we'll discuss about the remaining set of things. Okay.
Tomorrow